What is up, guys? Welcome to the SEW podcast. This week in wrestling, we're together again. Look at that.
Yeah, it's not lasting long.
It's not going to last long. But, so, if you're new here, please like and subscribe down below. Head over and follow us on Twitter at SEW_podcast. We're not going to do what we normally do and go through the show bit by bit, mainly because I don't care enough about the WWE shows at the moment. And you probably know it. If you're watching this, you probably know what happened.
It's good to know you don't care.
No,
why are we doing a podcast?
I mean, you tell me, hand on heart, these have been good shows over the last 3 weeks.
Oh, Raw's been paying me ass. NXT LA, SmackDown done a couple of good shows.
They've been dire. Raws. That's the main thing. Raw has been dire.
This week in AEW was such good limelight for all the stuff they did this week.
I mean, I've got criticism about AEW, but at least they're trying. Like, at least with them, I feel like they're trying.
To put on a live show and not actually give a live fucking show.
I mean, yeah, but at least when I watch them, I feel like they're trying. When I watch Raw, I just don't feel like there's any effort in this shit anymore. Which is weird, because it's like...
But I like the way your main negativity keeps coming up about one show of WWE's.
Yeah, but like I said, SmackDown, I enjoy bits of SmackDown. I enjoy the main stories of SmackDown. And then everything in between, it just kind of exists. Like, but the problem is, Raw is the flagship show still. Regardless of how much money Fox pay for SmackDown, Raw is the flagship show because WWE treat it as such. Well, they try to treat it as such, but I don't know. I just don't feel like there's any effort that goes into it since WrestleMania. Because I mean, you and I spoke before WrestleMania about, like, neither of us were hyped about WrestleMania, but Mania will end up being a good show. I thought.
Well, no, we knew it was going to be a good show. We just thought the booking was shit poor.
Yeah, and I thought they'd done a lot on the show in which they could have built some cool stories heading out of it, and then they just haven't. As you say, like, Sasha's not been really around.
Who cares? He's now Bailey's on TV.
Yeah, and like, I really like Bianca, and Christ, I was saying for weeks and weeks and weeks leading up to Mania before they announced Bianca, before Royal Rumble, saying Bianca needs to win it, and then it's like that entire build was poor, right? The match killed it. The match was great, and then since then they've not capitalised on it again, and I feel like that's kind of the way of everything. And also because we've got WrestleMania Backlash. You know, it's not just Backlash anymore; it's WrestleMania Backlash.
I've got a feeling they're just liking the name WrestleMania at the minute.
Yeah, they're just trying to get anything they can to latch onto it.
Don't worry, we'll still have WrestleMania at TLC. So
WrestleMania Survivor Series, but yeah, I don't know. It's just I feel like they've just not capitalised on anything or been on like a go slow mode. But we go back. We spoke about this for years at this point, but like it feels like Raw and SmackDown are written by completely different people, and completely different people are in charge, and they have made by two different companies at some points.
By certain points, it was.
I mean, yeah, but it isn't now. But it does feel like that again. You know, Bruce Pritchard is in charge of both. Bruce and Vince are still running both. You know, and you tell me anything on Raw in the last 4 weeks which has come close to this week's SmackDown with Roman or last week's SmackDown with Roman.
Alexa Bliss has got a doll that tells her everything what to do.
Yeah.
That's why she turned on the Fiend.
God. I love that. I love that they've just handed Alexa Bliss his gimmick. They basically just said, "Oh, you can have his gimmick. That's fine."
I love the way that Bray Wyatt suddenly shows up for a week and then all of a sudden he's not there and it's all Alexa Bliss again.
I genuinely don't understand the Fiend's build at all. Like, we kind of assumed that the Fiend was winning at Mania. That didn't happen.
Well, I was hoping that what they were going to do for a while was keep the Bray Wyatt character away from it, keep the Fiend going, and have Alexa doing the mouthpiece and doing what she's been doing, because what she's doing is doing quite well.
Yeah.
Until they gave her a doll.
Yeah. Like I said, I enjoyed the Alexa stuff. It was a bit hokey, it was a bit whatever, but it was fine. It was decent. It was entertaining. It was fun, but yeah.
Who doesn't like seeing Randy Orton puke up black shit?
Yeah, but I think once again that's the issue in it. It's like doing it once, cool. Doing it 12 times, you kind of lose it a little bit. But anyway, so Raw, you know, we're just building towards WrestleMania Backlash. That's all it is, isn't it? It's just rehashing some WrestleMania stuff. That's more or less it.
Yep, and women tag team champions just doing different. I get confused because right now I don't really know who's technically number one contenders because each show has their own people that they keep battling each week.
Yeah, it's kind of the problem in it of them jumping.
I don't fully understand how those two can keep going because they keep getting battered each week by two different teams each week now.
Yeah, I don't really know. I enjoy the Bobby and Drew stuff. I do enjoy them because I think they're really good. I don't understand why Braun constantly has to be put in these things. I really don't, because I think it's quite proven by now. He's not a draw.
So you can take the pin.
I mean, yeah.
Well, so they're going to fucking swear with Soar and he's going to win it, ain't he?
Wash your mouth out. Don't you dare.
I will not wash my mouth out. No, I will.
But look, NXT and AEW are still killing it, and since NXT's left Wednesday nights, they've improved their rating slightly, not by much, slightly.
I love the way they're still AEW people are still saying about this war. I like the way the words of thing of Triple H and Jericho. Where Jericho, where he did Triple H like that, but there wasn't really a war.
I mean, come on, Chris Jericho was on the fucking WWE network a month ago. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, but Jericho then goes, "Oh, but you put yourselves on Wednesday nights." Well, NXT was always on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
You put yourselves on a Wednesday night to go up against them.
I mean, me and you have always had this disagreement in that I think NXT did 100% go after AEW. They did 100% because they had no intention of ever being on network television. I think
you'll find it was Vince that made an NXT go after it.
Well, I think it was I think it was both of them. But I can't even imagine that Vince knew what AEW really was for the most part. But they decided to approach USA Network and sign a deal, to be on TV, which was stupid in the first place. They should have just not stayed on the network and signed a deal, moved to Tuesday. And I mean, at the end of all this, AEW's clearly got the better. AEW's now number one on cable this week, which they've never been. First time ever, number one on cable. Whilst NXT's still sitting in the 30s.
Unfortunately, it's a shame though that they got some bad pressure about this week. So.
Yeah.
And took them probably a major loss on their paycheck.
Yeah. So NXT. We'll start with NXT as we normally do. NXT.
I really enjoyed NXT.
I think they're fine shows. I've not got a problem with NXT. I think they're back in that. We spoke about this before at Takeover. After takeovers, they have that because they have that such long gap between the next one. They have to spend a long time rebuilding and slowly building stuff, and it's like.
Well, no, at the moment they're trying to fucking end storylines. So
yeah. So it's like at the moment they're like in that awkward phase which they always get in their 3-month periods between shows.
Actually, no, I thought this show was quite good because you had somewhere they were trying to end some storylines, and then you got some bits where they're building some more.
Yeah. I mean, I like Finn's return. I thought that was good, and because I like the fact they're carrying that on. Because I was a bit thinking, I hope they don't just allow Finn to lose and not care, which I kind of assumed they were going to do. So yeah, I'm glad Finn's back, and Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano continue to be the highlight of the NXT show. To be honest.
No one cares about Johnny Gargano. It's all about Austin Theory.
Austin Theory leaning in. Look at the size of those nails.
What was the hand gesture?
That was what he did. That was what he was doing. Austin Theory was doing this.
Not to start with, though, he did.
When he leant in, he said, look at the size of those nails. That's exactly what he did.
But he didn't do it to start with, though.
No, but that was what he did when he said that line. He said, look at the size of those nails. That's something which WWE doesn't really go close to, that sort of innuendo shit anymore. I love that. And the best thing of all that was... as they were leaving, Austin Theory being like, "Did you see the size of them?" And you hear Gargano go, "Yes, I saw the size of them. Of course, I saw the size of them." Like he's a naughty child. Oh, I think it's so funny.
Yeah, but Johnny Gargano was talking about something else.
Yeah. And of course, they won. They won the women's tag team championships at the end, meaning that the way is collecting gold.
Well, yeah, but it also irritated me. I'm glad to finally see Candice finally having a championship because she deserves. But it irritates me a bit because. These titles are 4 weeks, 6 weeks old. We're already on the verge. Champions.
Yeah, Yeah,
it means it a little bit, but I'm happy to hand this one again, I think.
Am I remembering correctly? Did they change it the first night? They did, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah, they crowned them and then they changed it that same night.
Yeah.
Yeah, which seems bizarre.
Well, no, I think they wanted to do it because they wanted, oh crap, NXT Women's Champion. Is it Raquel?
Yeah, Raquel Gonzalez. Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure they just wanted to put it on her to give her some more thing and have the thing of being the first champion because no matter what, she was going to NXT.
Yeah, she was going to win. Yeah. So yeah, they wanted to give her a bit of a rub, but it was like just a one night move on sort of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, NXT's doing fine, but I think everyone's been talking about AEW this week for good or bad. I think once again AEW gets the headlines. Now,
yeah,
look,
but unfortunately, the headlines just more negativity than good.
I'll say this: I enjoyed the match, Blood and Guts. I enjoyed the match for the main part. I hated the finish.
As I said to you,
and they fucked up the production.
I had issues with the setup of the match.
Yeah,
because this kind of match is always built that you had the big rivalry of two groups. And sure, this is why WWE does it better because they'll lock the two teams in and you have the referee that will do the cage. That and the announcers, not the announcers, one announcer kept fucking up until one point.
Which one?
Excalibur.
Oh, did he? I didn't.
Basically, they stated the rules at the beginning. They showed you on the screen and everything that the match won't start until all 10 are in the ring. He kept going. The problem is he keeps going on until which one tapped?
I can't remember, but yeah, well, he was just.
But he kept going basically. Oh well, this match could end at any time by submission or someone giving up, and I'm like that
prior to everyone being in the ring. I didn't pick up on that.
He said it multiple times, and then he got ready. He basically was when thinking, Sean, that was it. Sean Spears taps to the ankle lock. He's getting ready about to go. Oh, and then the others are like that. No, it can't end that way because Audrey Edwards is jumping around, waving as Audrey Edwards does. She does amazing.
Yeah, well, I get why they didn't have like the cage thing, but I get like it's them trying to separate themselves.
Yeah, but the problem is then keep the others
War Games
backstage out of the way.
No, I agree.
Because the problem is you built up such a rivalry. This means technically what you've done is they're not going to wait to get in the cage. They'll all run around the side and beat the crap out of one another.
But also, as I was saying for weeks and weeks leading up to this, this should end the feud, not start the fucking feud.
Technically, it did end the feud. Chris Jericho is officially dead, apparently.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. But first, it's like, I feel like we've missed 10 weeks of this story here. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's because they kept taking groups of them off after beating each other up.
Yeah, I just feel like we've not got to the point in which we should be. We'd only just met MJF's group, and then all of a sudden they're getting beaten the shit out of by in a circle.
They had to create MJF's group for this thing because they couldn't really use the Elite anymore.
No, I agree, but it's like
busy booked them in somewhere in a different area now.
I agree, but also I know we're going all over the place here, but it's like Double or Nothing is coming pretty soon. Is it this month? I can't remember. I think it's the end of this month, and they're going in front of a full live, full capacity crowd in front of the arena.
They won't record the week before.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that. But what I mean is, their whole point of not running Blood and Guts back in April last year was because they wanted to do it in front of an audience. Well, they still didn't do it in front of an audience. Even more so this week, they still didn't do it in front of an audience.
I thought they did.
Yeah, but only a small one, not a full capacity audience. So they wanted to do it in front of full. Well, I don't understand why they didn't just do it at Double or Nothing. At Double or Nothing, have the damn War Games match, but
no.
Spend another month building the goddamn story. But
spend another month making the cage more solid.
Yeah, and so
does that irritate me with the chart? Every time you keep seeing it, and I was like, the wrestler's going to fall down that gap, and that shouldn't happen. Yes, we got no wrestler fell down the gap.
And what makes me laugh is, as you've alluded to, the first hour of Dynamite this week was pre-recorded. They pre-recorded that last week, and then this week in front of the live studio audience, what happened was they watched the first hour on the screens and were told to react as though they're watching it live, but War Games was actually live. So they just had people pay money to sit there and watch it on a goddamn TV screen. And as you say, they asked for refunds.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, because you were sold on the Blood and Guts like special show. I wasn't going to see one goddamn match, whether it was good or whatever.
Back down to fucking ECW's December, then.
It is literally like that. It is that level of carny. Yeah, and then like the actual match itself, regardless of poor production, and they did like a Kevin Dunn special on this with our fucking camera cuts, which was nauseating at the beginning. I think they caught themselves, but at the beginning, because there was so many people, it was like bang, cut. And then the finish.
Well, the thing is, I don't mind a bit Chris Jericho getting thrown up.
No.
But my God, WWE's always done a better thing. I know you're trying to protect the 50-year-old man, but you can blatantly tell that he's landed on rubber thing that's supposed to be metal.
On a cushion.
And, that you can see in WWE.
Oh, yeah. But they
it's also not paper thin fucking wooden board.
It was literally, as you say, wooden board with a decal on the top to make it look like that. What's it called? That grated metal.
Yeah, it was a rubber thing that they put on there because you saw it and it sort of flopped around.
Oh, was it rubber? Right, okay, right.
Yeah, that bit was rubber.
Yeah, so they just put like a little decal on top of it, on top of a bit of like fucking cardboard to go through. But the thing is, as you say, WWE uses the crash pads and stuff now, which obviously they never used to, but they do now. Fair enough. I'm all for keep you guys safe and don't injure them.
But they have a bit more of a solid landing before they hit that.
And also, shoot it better. That's the point, right? Like, we moan about WWE, but that sort of shit wouldn't fly in WWE. You wouldn't see the cardboard, the back, and also I think I heard, who was it? Was it Jim Cornette? It may have been Cornette, I think it may have been Cornette, which I hate agreeing with him, but where he was like, just paint the back of the damn cardboard silver, so at least it looks like it's the same thing.
Well, I'm changing my thing, if that's what he's saying, and I'm all for this thing. So.
But I was like, yeah, that was a pretty simple solution. Just make it look like it's, but it wasn't. You could see.
Well, no, but even WWE at times, you can see where it's had wood, but the wood's thicker.
Thicker, yeah. Because they don't want to take away all of the danger, because then why the fuck would anyone care? And as you say, yes, Chris Jericho's like a 50-year-old man. I get it. But I think it took away from that really cool moment for MJF at the end there.
It also made Jericho look fucking stupid.
It did. And also, like, I felt sorry for JR, because they obviously tried to make him call it like it was Mankind getting thrown off the damn cell. And he didn't sound very enthused, because why would he be? He fell 8 feet and went through cardboard. And as JR always says, he calls it on the fly. So when he sees it, he's not going to be like, God almighty, they broke him in half. He's going to be like, well, that was a...
well, he's ready to get sleep.
Yeah, that was a nice landing, wasn't it, Chris? But there we go. I think the problem with AEW, and I think this is continuous, they overpromise and underdeliver with some of these things.
Yes. And
I think that's something which is going to come back to bite them in the arse very, very quickly, which I think is a shame. But I don't know. I think I thought the show was fine, but I think they've overhyped this for over a year.
Unfortunately, they just haven't come out looking great from that episode.
No.
It's more negative than positive.
Yeah. But, and do you know what I think the problem is as well? Like, as you say, more negative than positive. This was their most watched show ever. You know, other than their debut show, this is their most watched show ever. But this is the first time they've been number one on cable television.
And they blew it.
And yeah, they kind of blew it, you know, because...
Overall, the thing is, they did a decent TV show. They just fucked the budget ending up and did some dodgy cage building.
Yeah, I mean, look, we'll
live attendance, they fucking blew it big time.
Well, live attendance, yeah. I mean, because especially when most of the people who are attending that in Jacksonville are probably regular attendees because they live in the area, they may have screwed them up and said, "Well, I'm not going back next week," you know. Yeah, I think they fucked that a little bit.
Especially when you have your biggest pay-per-view at the end of the month and you want people to buy and sell it out.
Yeah, but also, you know, if the casual fan watched it, would they have watched that and been as like nitpicky like we are? Probably not.
I don't know, that cage moving around, I would have been a bit more if I was a casual fan.
Oh yeah, but like things like keeping the group separate and stuff, because we know the shark cage stuff. Maybe they wouldn't have cared so much.
Well, no, casual fan, but a casual fan would only have just tuned in and been like that. Oh, this is pretty cool.
Exactly. So like, yeah. So maybe like those fans which they caught this week and done it. Maybe they'll come back next week and maybe they'll watch the next episode. But also, I don't know. How many watched the first hour? And the first hour wasn't exactly the most overwhelming product.
No.
Cody bleeding as... But that's the point. Do you know how the hell Cody bled in that match?
No.
No, neither do I. Because he didn't get hit at all. It was like a strong breeze hit him.
Can we quickly also go back to the other match? Because AEW really needs to put in that thing about unprotected headshots.
So fucking... It makes me cringe so much.
Because I just don't understand. Chris Jericho was the main one that didn't, when he had the chair, he would do the WWE. You aim for the. I don't mind someone going for the head, but as long as the hand, I don't care looking at someone protect not to put their hand up.
I saw Dax
because I've always loved
the
headshot, but I want to see protection.
Yeah, I saw FTR.
But Sean Spear was the first one where he brought the chair in and just banged it on the eyes of that.
But say, seriously, FTR. It's a WWE thing. FTR, they get their hands up. They know, and it's like seeing people like Sammy Guevara and that like. They just take these goddamn shots, and it's like, yeah, they're young, they're inexperienced. The people who haven't gone through WWE haven't been trained in that shit, which I feel is bizarre. We all know it now. We've all learned from Chris Benoit and Eddie, right? Like, come on. Because you and I have never wrestled, and yet neither of us are going to want to take an unprotected chair shot to the head.
I might do it once and then think about never doing it again.
Yeah, but because we've seen the horrid outcome of it, right? We've seen...
Definitely don't want to take an unprotected fucking headshot from Sean Spear. That son of a bitch.
Yeah. I agree. Because I thought the same thing. I forgot, but yeah, I thought the same thing whilst watching it. Because I can watch someone fall off a ladder and do all that shit, whatever. Just don't go for the head. It's just we know too much now about CTE.
Not even, as I say, I quite like the image of going with the head.
No, yeah.
Just put your hands up. It's
not
rocket science, is it?
And they can edit it. If they cut it well, to him getting his hands up and cut from behind, so you don't see the hands. They can do it very well. It's like it's not hard. But no, I agree. And SmackDown. I mean, the biggest thing to come out of SmackDown this week.
Bailey was on TV.
Was the return of Jimmy.
Not Bailey on TV.
Not Bailey on TV. Oh, but the Bailey on TV.
That was the second biggest.
That was the second biggest thing. Okay. But the return of Jimmy. He's back. I really, really, really enjoyed the segment.
I'm wondering where they go with it, because it's going to end up being Jay and Jimmy beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
But what I'm kind of hoping for is, because they finally built the story right, for someone to actually beat Roman for the belt with Cesaro.
Cesaro's looking good.
They even help Roman look even stronger. Have Jimmy screw him.
Yeah, because I mean, at this point in time, I don't know how you beat Roman Reigns clean, ever. Because he looks too damn strong. So yeah, like...
Really, I have Brock Lesnar back up and have him come in and jump him for you.
Yeah, just hard way him. But yeah, I mean, I think the most legitimate way in which they can get the belt off Roman is exactly that. And they've actually been doing Cesaro well, which surprises me. Since Mania, he's had the most consistently good build, I think, of anyone.
Well, just before.
Yeah, just before as well, yeah.
It's about what? Just after Royal Rumble?
Yeah. Since him and the Seth thing started at the Rumble.
Was it?
And
one of the other two papers?
Yeah, and then he's actually had a consistently good build, but since Mania, he's actually continued to have a good build, unlike many people.
I think I was getting a bit nervous with the bit with Daniel, where they're about to put him on, but I am liking that he's still going.
But yeah, we got the Usos back, and do you know there was like subtle little things which they did really well there. When Jimmy and Jay left, and Jimmy grabbed Jay's arm to stop him going back to help Roman, and he let him go, and Jay went, and Jimmy stood there and only went not to help Roman but to help his brother.
Yeah,
it was nice, really genuinely good storytelling. Which
those are the kind of bits where you kind of look at like Paul Heyman having a bit more to do with it, to help with that part of
100%.
That's what he's good at.
Yeah, 100%. Like he tells a good story. Like but
it's not so much as telling you, it's how to do it.
The nuances of it all. Yeah, how to put it all off. Yeah, no, I agree.
Apart from that one thing he does where he just walks down and just constantly stares at Roman, and he looks like he's going to rape him one day. Yeah,
it looks a bit creepy, doesn't it? We talked that Roman got his new theme music last week.
Yeah.
Which is finally a long time coming. And
I don't know how I feel about it yet.
Yeah, it's going to take a while, isn't it?
It's not that, I just don't know how I generally feel about it.
But yeah, this SmackDown was Throwback SmackDown.
Well, it wasn't a throwback to SmackDown, was it?
No, we had No Mercy. You remember the N64 game No Mercy?
Do I remember? Yes.
But Michael Cole's gear was the gear from the game that he was wearing. Pat McAfee, 1980s Vince McMahon. We had the old WWF old school logo, not even Attitude Era logo as the thing. The nameplates were old, like early 90s, late 80s nameplates. Then we had a SmackDown Fist CGI shit come out.
And then this show saw a bunch of old stuff for SmackDown, so none of it made sense.
Yeah, and then we had like SmackDown 2000 logo.
I'd get behind it all if it was all old stuff to do from the moment SmackDown had started.
Yeah, like when Raw did it before, they had the old RAW on the set and all that stuff. Like they could have just, I don't know. You own the goddamn Fist set, just ship it in, or even the Oval set.
I just don't think they could be asked to change
it.
They don't.
Now. They can't. But bring in the Oval set.
Truth is, I wouldn't have been so upset if we didn't have the Fist. But to add all this other stuff that had nothing to do with the time that SmackDown was there.
Yeah, like calling it because when Raw did it, they used to call it like Retro Raw and all that, and then there was one which was like, I can't remember what they called it, but it was something where you could tell it was just an all-encompassing thing, was nothing to do with Raw. Whereas this one, calling it Throwback SmackDown, makes it think it's a Throwback SmackDown.
Well, yeah, well, they also only showed SmackDown old bit, so.
Yeah, and I did like, we had Teddy Long. You're going to go one-on-one with The Undertaker.
Yeah, the thing is, that's going to his fucking go-to thing now, and then they're just like, King Bugger.
Yeah, I did like that. That was fun.
It just makes him look like he's lost his mind.
Yeah, I enjoy these throwback things, but I would like it to make a little bit of sense, just a little bit.
So when do we think that they're going to do the Sonya's having one show, thingy Aaron's is having the other?
Yeah, I think it's coming. I think it's coming.
She's doing her power moves and she's picking her wrestlers.
Yeah, I think it's coming.
You know she's having SmackDown, you know she's having Charlotte, and you know she's having Rome.
Yeah, I think it's coming. I think we're about due for a draft at some point. I think they're going to be, I think that's where it's going to kick off, you know, if they're going to do a draft and one of them's going to take.
Adam Pearce versus Sonya.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. That's kind of cool.
Although I did like Sonya's dancing.
I'd much rather that than what we had for the last two drafts. Stephanie McMahon just coming out and announcing the shit, you know. So I'd like that because, oh god, do you remember the freaking when you had like William Regal and Flair and Bischoff and Coachman, all them like doing the draft? I loved that. I thought that was cool. Yeah, I'd be all for that. But news-wise, Daniel Bryan's contract has run out. He is officially no longer with WWE, not even in storyline.
Until his wife tells him to sign. Yeah,
I should imagine. I know people are like fantasy booking already, and like fantasy booking him and going off over to Ring of Honor with Samoa Joe and doing all that stuff, or going over to AEW and getting a match with Kenny and blah blah blah. But he's going to resign to WWE. Like, of course he's going to resign to WWE.
This way he just buggers off to New Japan to get a break from the family and everyone.
Yeah, I mean, like, it wouldn't surprise me if he has already re-signed with WWE, but they're keeping it quiet.
Well, that's a bit that confused me with all of it, because I thought he wanted to take a step back a bit from the wrestling and start doing more
training and production.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the point. Yeah, that was what he wanted to do. Obviously, they wanted to keep him on. He said that he wanted to a deal where he could go off and do some indie shows here and there, and obviously WWE's like, fuck no, even though they've given that deal to other people in the past, you know. And back in the 90s that was a regular deal, you know. Taker would go off to Japan, Vader would go off to Japan, you know, all these people would go and do Japanese tours. So it's like, it's not unknown. WWE let Chris Jericho do it. I mean, yeah, fair enough. It came back to bite him in the arse.
He kind of said that it was supposed to be a one-deal show.
Yeah, it kind of bit him in the arse. But
they also did that themselves by replacing him for the Saudi show.
Yeah, exactly. By disrespecting him, as they always do. But yeah, I don't know. I don't. Bryan ain't leaving, but it is what it is. We also had last week we had the talent relations just complete clusterfuck, which was just freaking believable. Mickey James obviously let go and then receives her goods, her belongings in a freaking black bag, and
so did everybody else.
Yeah, and Mark Carrano of Total Divas fame got fired because of it.
Oh no!
Which is such a shame. And by all accounts, he was a scumbag. All the wrestlers have been coming out now saying, yeah, he was a piece of shit.
Yeah, they want to say it to his face, but now it's gone. It's set behind his back.
Yeah. They're too scared of him whilst he's actually in power.
He might not sign my contract.
Also, did you see this?
Is that why Eva Marie's back now?
Oh shit! I forgot to mention that, and I was a bit happy until I forgot about that. Eva Marie's. We got rid of the Iconics. We got rid of Mickey James.
Is it because of him that we didn't have Eva Marie coming back, and now that he's gone the first week, she's back.
Remember this, right? I said on this show probably 2 months ago when they rehired John Laurinaitis, I said the women are shit scared because Johnny Laurinaitis only likes divas. He hates women wrestling. He wants divas. He wants good-looking, hot women to just be eye candy. And people, I remember online, people were all debating this, saying, we're beyond that. There's no way they could do that. Well, fuck off, because this is it. This is John Laurinaitis 101. This is all he cares about. He doesn't want your Becky Lynch and your Ronda main event in Mania. He wants Tori Wilson and Stacey Keibler in a bra and panties match. That's it. That's what he wants. He doesn't want women actually having competitive matches and storylines.
Maybe you should go to Peacock and go back through the other. Oh no, wait, you can't.
Oh, but yeah, I don't know. Eva Marie, fucking Eva Marie. Well, well, nothing against her, but what has she got to offer?
I'll give her a chance. She's worked on getting the fitter again things, and if she's done more practicing again in the ring, and she gets better and does more, then fair play to her. But to suddenly let go of 3 really good people to then suddenly bring back Eva Marie, who didn't prove herself on the first run,
I think that's the point.
This is what's upset people.
Yeah, I think that's the point. And
the problem is with Eva Marie, well, getting behind as well, is she only admitted that WWE was just a stepping stone.
Yeah, she wanted to use it to get into Hollywood and modelling and all that. Yeah, I mean, look, as you say, if she's actually improved in the ring, cool. She's been in the Performance Centre for the last few months trying, but by all accounts, that's about it. But if she's got better, cool. If they're just going to use her as a heel to be booed because, we don't want Eva Marie back, that's a wrong move, because X-Pac used to say this all the time. There's good heat and there's, go home heat. There's go away heat, which was basically you have good heat, which was, the heel doing their job very well and screw that guy, I'm going to tune in next week to see what he does. Roddy Piper heat. And then you've got, fuck this guy, I'm not tuning in next week because you don't want to see him. And I fear that WWE's treading that line where people are going to tune in, see Eva Marie and go, fuck off. And maybe come back 20 minutes later or not at all. And I feel that's a realistic prospect.
Yes,
And once you say, it's not really about Eva Marie. It's because, as you say, you just fired, especially Mickey James. Mickey James is the top there. Not even, look, if you don't want to use her in the ring, cool. Stupid idea, but cool. She's one of the best female wrestlers you've had in 20 years. She can better your roster from behind the scenes. It's pretty simple. Iconics, one of the most entertaining duos you've had in a long, long, long time.
Oh yeah. Still got confused with Billy though, because she was just on WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's the stupid shit about this, right? They were on the goddamn show 4 days before.
Peyton wasn't.
No, Peyton wasn't.
Peyton went on afterwards to go for the Women's Championship.
Yeah. It's so bizarre. But I don't know. There we are. I mean, in the coming weeks, we've got obviously we've got Backlash WrestleMania. We've got Double or Nothing coming up.
You mean WrestleMania Backlash?
WrestleMania Backlash. But I just want to get over this Backlash thing. This is always the lull period where they just basically rehash the same stuff from Mania. And then hopefully...
Unless you're Royal, you just seem to be throwing extra people in the same matches as if it's been a triple threat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, like Charlotte just gets thrown in there. Yeah, Braun gets thrown in there.
Well, Braun didn't just get thrown in. Braun beat Drew.
Yeah, I know, but you know what I mean.
Charlotte got thrown in there. Quite literally, like every fucking time.
But as I said before Mania,
in a match. I want to be in a match. I'll just make it a triple threat. There you go, Charlotte, you're in.
I said before Mania that I was so certain that Charlotte was just going to get thrown in there, even if on the night of Mania.
They couldn't do that, and they did that a couple years before, and people started whinging about it.
Yeah.
Every week.
They've done this with Ronda and Becky. They put Charlotte in there, and I think they did it with Carmella and who was it? Was it Carmella and Sasha? I can't remember now, but they did it with another SummerSlam main event where it was a women's main event, and they just threw Charlotte in on the Friday before with no build, because it's Vince McMahon's break glass in case of emergency. If he doesn't feel confident in something, we'll just throw Charlotte in there.
Why? Give something a chance.
Yeah, but he doesn't. That's the thing. Talking about Charlotte, actually, did you see Charlotte and Dave Meltzer having an argument?
Is she now starting on Dave Meltzer?
Yeah, I like Charlotte.
Fair enough. She's starting Jimmy Cornette next.
Dave Meltzer basically went on his radio show and said about how she's getting all this cosmetic surgery done and blah 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 blah.
Who gives a shit? It's not my body. I don't care.
Exactly that. And he was basically saying, she feels like she has to try and compete and whatnot, blah blah blah. And Charlotte just.
Does anyone also ask the question on when she did bits to her nose, is whether it was more medical or?
This is the point, right? Charlotte responded saying, "Well, Dave, I'll have you know, I went and had dental surgery done because I needed dental surgery done, and I went and had like my airways unblocked, blah blah blah." And funnily enough, the little bitch hasn't responded to that, but she went on Twitter and tweeted at Dave Meltzer, "You have my phone number. If you've got a problem, why don't you call me?"
Let's be honest, it isn't a especially with Charlotte. She's had her nose busted in a few times.
Yeah.
Full blown. She's had to have a bit of plastic surgery to get her nose so she can breathe out of it.
Bearing in mind, Dave Meltzer a couple of years ago called Peyton Royce fat on his radio show, and the hatred that rained down on him.
That more? I thought that was one. It might have been Billy Kay.
It may have been Billy Kay, but yeah, well, he called he called one of them fat. Or he suggested that they lose weight. I shouldn't say he called them fat. He suggested they lose weight because they looked a bit on the porky side. And all hell rained. How dare you? It's their body. They do whatever the fuck they like of it, Dave.
I'd love Billy Kay if she was fat or slim.
And, after this week's Dark Side of the Ring, did you see Dave Meltzer's office? In that first episode of Dark Side of the Ring. He's sitting on 8 foot of paper. I don't know how that man lives or what he does. He's an anomaly. He's a bizarre human. But there we are. It is what it is. That is this week in wrestling. Head over and follow us on Twitter at SEW_podcast. Like and subscribe to us here on this channel if you are new. We've got Facebook and TikTok and all that down below in the description.
Oh yeah, I forgot about TikTok.
TikTok. But that's it for us. We'll see you next time. We're out.